Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Unrestricted Sports. I'm Brendan, and I'm joined with my co-host Nolan. And today we are talking about Dak Prescott's contract and what we think he should be getting, and if we think that he is worth the money or not worth the money. So, Nolan, I'll let you start off, but I have some pretty strong opinions about this personally.
Yeah, so I'll play devil's advocate a little bit, uh, just to kind of get where Dak may be coming from in terms of why he wants so much money, and that's comparing him to fellow quarterbacks in his draft class with Carson Wentz and Jared Goff. Um, I'm going to compare him mostly to Carson Wentz, but Jared Goff wise, I think Jared Goff had his obviously 2018 year was a pretty good year, but a lot of that was play action yards and Todd Gurley helping him out. His 2019 campaign was decent, but I don't think it was anything special. Definitely not deserving of the contract he got. And for Goff, that was 134 million over 4 years. But for Wentz, I think the biggest thing about Wentz is his injury prone. I think Wentz is the best quarterback in the NFC East if he didn't consistently get injured.
Yeah, by far.
I think so. Here's where I'll explain Dak's reason for asking for so much. I think as of right now, with compared to how Dak has done compared to Carson Wentz, I think it's reasonable that Dak is asking for that much money if he's comparing it to Carson Wentz. But compared to quarterbacks around the league, I say absolutely do not give him anything more than 35 million.
Yeah.
But I think uh, the we'll talk about this in the Cowboys video. But I think Dak Prescott needs to get a playoff win, more than one, because I know he's gotten a playoff win, but like I think I don't think Dak Prescott can take a Dallas Cowboys team that far. I mean, he's got a very good O line. I don't know what else you can really give the guy, but there should be a Super Bowl in Dallas soon, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen.
Yeah, I agree with you. People are going to bring up Matthew Stafford. Well, Matthew Stafford got paid. Well, he didn't get paid nearly as much as Dak is asking for, first of all. Second of all, Dak has had an incredible amount of talent surrounding him, and he's consistently underperformed and choked in the playoffs when he even has gotten there in the first place. So there's that. Second off, Dak Prescott's lucky to be $35 million a year. And the only reason he could even argue that would be because he's the next quarterback to get paid. Which, yes, when the next best quarterback is up to get paid, they set the market. That's how it works. I'm not disputing that. But there's a lot of talking heads out there who will say, oh, well, he can ask for whatever he wants because he's the next guy up. I mean, yeah. But just because other teams made mistakes with overpaying their young quarterbacks does not mean the Cowboys, by some divine rule, have to make the same mistake. It's not a rule, believe it or not. They don't have to make the same mistakes other teams did by overpaying their quarterbacks, especially not if that quarterback isn't worth it. Dak is, I would say, $35 million a year is a reasonable number because I think that would still make him the highest paid quarterback in the league, first of all.
No, not for long.
Not for long, but he's not going to be there for long anyway, regardless.
Yeah.
So 35 million, he could get what he wants. He'd be the highest paid quarterback in the league, if only for a short while. And he's still setting the market for Mahomes. He's not going to get more than Mahomes, but he's asking for Mahomes-like money. He's asking for more than Mahomes. Like he's asking, if the reports are true, which I believe they are, because that's what the Cowboys are doing. They say both sides came out and said, "Oh, we didn't leak this contract info. It's fake." No, the NFL works like this. They leak contract information. They leak these deals so they can get public reactions, so they can use that in their arguments when they go back to the table. They leaked the fact that Dak Prescott was not happy with $43 million in his final year of one of his contract. That would have made him incredibly wealthy, all right? Incredibly. And it's way more than he's worth because he's only a $35 million a year quarterback at best because he had to hit. I mean, the Cowboys cheated the Lions really bad almost every time we've played them. And honestly, Dak beats up on underperforming teams. He really does. The reason all of his stats this year were so good were not from the teams that were good. His stats were abysmal against good teams. He was amazing against bad teams, which really just makes him a mediocre quarterback. But being a mediocre quarterback in this league, when it's your time to get paid and you're the next guy up, it does grant you the right to be paid more than the previous quarterback, which I agree with. I'm not disputing that. He should be paid $35 million a year. And I think that's more than he's worth even then. But I think that's a fair number. 45, anywhere in the 40s, high $30 million a year range is unacceptable. And that's what he's asking for. And I can guarantee you that's what he's asking for. Because that is what his agent wants. His agent doesn't want to look like an idiot when the cap goes up in a few years and have everyone say, oh, well, he's a bad agent. Well, guess what? Even when the cap goes up, if it still goes up with the coronavirus situation, even if it still goes up, which I think it will, it's still $40 million is still way too much. Anything in the 40s is still too much, even if the cap rises at all.
See, good proof.
So
good proof for what you were saying about Dak. I'll call it stat padding against bad teams. Is you look at just compares 2018 and 2019 numbers. In 2018, the Cowboys played the Rams in the divisional round, and obviously lost that because that was the year the Rams went to the Super Bowl. But
yeah,
Dak Prescott threw for 3,885 yards that season. In 2019, he threw for 4,902. During his 2018 season, the Cowboys went 10-6. During the 2019 season, they went, I think, 8-8, right, and tied the Eagles.
Yeah.
Which just shows it's like Dak's stats could be incredible, but it's garbage. I'll call it garbage time, but just garbage time, stats.
Yeah. He's a middle of the pack quarterback at best. He's always relied on Zeke's running game, and when Zeke's running game struggles, he struggles. And Zeke's running game struggles against good teams because apparently he's slowing down now. I wouldn't have seen that coming a year ago, but apparently he's slowing down.
Shocker.
Shocker. But shocker that when you run your running back into the ground and then give him a major contract, that all of a sudden he starts not living up to the contract. I mean, it's not his fault. His body's worn down, and you just give him a ton of money. So, kind of takes an edge off there, and it also kind of, reduces his physical ability regardless either way. You can't have your star players coming in off the game, waving themselves out of the game. This is more Cowboys talk, but I mean, who's to say that Dak is even going to be a good quarterback if Zeke continues to regress? Dak has always ridden on the back of Ezekiel Elliott, regardless of what anyone says. Dak is not a transcendent thrower of the football. He never has been. I don't think he ever will be. He's incredibly inaccurate. Who was he throwing against? Did I send you that video, Nolan? That video where he was throwing and it was like an accuracy competition between him and a retired quarterback. I can't remember who he was throwing against.
Was it Derek Carr's brother, I believe? I'm not too sure, to be honest.
I wish I knew. But just look it up. He was on some show, and he missed every throw. And this quarterback had been out of the league for 6 years. I think it was Derek Carr's brother, maybe.
Yeah, David Carr.
Yeah, it was David Carr. And David Carr hit every single target on the first throw. Dak missed every single target. And Dak is the one asking for some massive contract where he gets $40 million plus a year. No, that's unacceptable. All right. People are out there saying, oh, he deserves to get paid because he was on a rookie deal. No, he doesn't. No one deserves to get paid because they were on a rookie deal. You earn your money. This is not a fairness league. It's a talent league. If you're talented, you'll get the money. Dak is not talented. There's a reason why Mahomes can go in there and put any number down on the contract and he'll get it because he's talented. Regardless of how much it is because of his receiving core, he is still an incredibly talented quarterback, and that won't change regardless of how many weapons he has around him. He might not be as successful, but he will still be a good quarterback. Prescott is not that guy.
You know what
he does not.
You know what I found interesting? Sorry to interrupt.
What?
But
No, you're good.
Chris Collinsworth was talking about how the Cowboys would be lucky to sign Dak for $40 million a year, which that's ridiculous.
Wow.
But when talking about stats, and this isn't to talk crap about Chris Collinsworth, but it's more so to show how impressive Dak's numbers are, but against who they're playing. So he brought up after torching the Detroit Lions for 444 yards on 29 of 46 passing with 3 touchdowns and no picks. That's impressive.
Wow.
But then you say Detroit Lions.
Yeah, Detroit Lions have a terrible defense. And I'm saying that from a Lions fan's perspective. Congratulations. You threw 5 touchdowns against us. You threw for 400 some yards. Guess what? That's our every week. That happens to the Lions every week. So don't act like you're special. You could have Baker Mayfield on his worst day come in there half hungover, and he could still do that to the Lions. So don't come in here and tell me that Dak Prescott's some transcendent thrower of the football who deserves $40 million a year because he beat up the Lions, okay? If you're using the Lions, you're going to be paying all your players mega deals, okay? It amazes me how some of these people have jobs analyzing sports because, quite simply, it makes no sense. There's only one man in the NFL who is worthy of putting anything above $40 million a year on a contract, and that is Patrick Mahomes, because he has the stats, he has the success, and he has the character of a leader. And that's not saying that Dak doesn't, but it's saying that Mahomes is even more so. All right.
I think one thing that really sets Mahomes away from Prescott, besides Prescott being extremely, not good in comparison to Mahomes, is
not good.
Prescott's lack of consistency compared to Mahomes' constant consistency.
Mahomes is always consistently good. Dak Prescott, you look at his QBR week to week, and it's like a roller coaster. Like you're on the newest Cedar Point ride, and you are just going along, up and down, up and down. You're swirling around. You think you're about to barf because it's so bad. That's what Dak Prescott's numbers are. They're a compilation of really good and really bad. And if your quarterback isn't consistent, you aren't winning in this league.
Agreed.
It's not you just don't win. Dak Prescott is not worth anything more than $35 million a year. He's lucky to be getting that because he's the next guy up. Listen, just because other teams overpaid their quarterbacks, I know this is a credible concept for some people in the media, but just because other teams made a mistake and did that, because those deals clearly didn't work out for those teams so far. Jared Goff isn't looking like himself. Carson Wentz is always getting hurt. So those deals aren't working out. Other teams making bad decisions does not mean that the rest of the teams in the league have to be fair to the competition and also make bad decisions with their quarterback. No, especially not when one of them is in your division. I mean, come on, people. This is a sport. This is a competition, and it's not just between players. It's between the GMs and coaches. It's about making smart moves, and it is not a smart move to pay Dak Prescott 45 to anything above $40 million a year. 35 is the max. That's what he's worth.
Hey, conspiracy theory here. What if the Eagles drafted Jalen Hurts because they wanted to overpay Carson Wentz, so the Cowboys would overpay Dak. Dak wouldn't get the money he wants, so therefore Dak leaves the division. Carson keeps getting hurt, so they trade Carson for whatever, a 7th round pick, and then Jalen Hurts comes in and wins the Eagles Super Bowl.
See, that makes sense until the part where you realize that how much Carson Wentz is getting paid and that it absolutely would cripple them if they had to get rid of him.
Yeah.
Like, absolutely cripple them.
Oh.
Good idea, though, but I think you're giving the Eagles a little too much credit there. I mean, these are the fans that ate horse poop off the ground after they won a Super Bowl. I mean, just saying. Lions fans haven't won a Super Bowl in a long time, but we definitely wouldn't be doing that. So, actually, well, I said a long time, but that's really just my way of covering that we've never won a Super Bowl. But that's besides the point. But yeah, Dak, $40 million plus a year, man. No, not even close. If you think that he is, and you're a Cowboys fan, you're setting your team up for failure. And if you're saying otherwise, and you're not a Cowboys fan, you're just trying to make the Cowboys mess up. So that's my take on it. Nolan, any closing comments before we call this one off?
I think I think the Cowboys need to be firm on their offer because I think Andy Dalton could do the same thing Dak's doing for a year. Let Dak go,
I think
and then
Andy Dalton might be better.
yeah, and then get a quarterback in a draft. I mean, I don't run the team, but I don't think Dak is winning them a Super Bowl anytime soon, especially if he wants that much money.
Cowboys won't win another Super Bowl in 20 years if they give him that money.
Yeah.
Guaranteed. Jerry Jones better not cave on that because he's already overpaying Dak by offering him 35 to 38 million a year. So
agreed.
And apparently they offered him in the 40s range, and he still turned that down because it wasn't to his perfect number where he wanted it.
I'm shocked.
He wants as much money as Mahomes, if not more, because Mahomes might take a team discount. So that's just ridiculous. That shouldn't be happening. People talking about fair. That's not fair.
Yeah.
You want to talk about fair? It would be if Dak somehow got paid more than Mahomes. That would be unfair.
Yeah.
So
if he takes that money, that Cowboys O-line won't be as good as it is for much longer because they'll have to cut money somewhere.
Yeah. Well, I think that's pretty much it for this episode, guys. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe for more unrestricted sports content, and we will see you guys next time. Peace.